What's up, everybody? The Washington Wizards dropped their second home game, 126 to 107 to the Boston Celtics, welcoming KP back to the 202. But it was an ugly one. So we're going to talk about the reasons we lost and look at some of the progress of some of the young guys on the roster. So we're going to talk about that and more next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again with my guy, the real Ed Oliver. And appreciate you guys making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And tonight's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. So the Washington Wizards drop the game against the Boston Celtics, welcoming KP back to Washington, D.C., but this was an ugly one. So I know that we both said we're not really going to look at the causes of defeats. We're kind of going to look at, the progress of young guys. So in your eyes tonight, E, who was that young guy that really impressed you? And who was that young guy that didn't really impress you at all?
Kind of like a studs and duds. I would say Eugene, man. Yeah. Eugene coming off the bench, because we're going to take the positive approach, as you said. It's very easy to be negative, and we did that the first game, so we're going to try our best to not just be negative, which is, it's hard not to be.
Yeah.
But I will just throw this out there before we do get started. I do want to just stay focused on the question, because it is a good question. But Gafford being out, I knew it was going to go this way. I just knew it might have still went this way with Gafford, to be honest with you. But I knew it was going to go this way without Gafford. But to get back to your question, I'm going to say Eugene, man. 14 points, 6 boards, had a perfect game. 5 for 5, 1 for 1 from the three-point line. He's the most physical player. And I think, honestly, when they do that small ball 5, they need to put him in there earlier, because we have nobody that plays with physicality like him. I mean, he really looks like a linebacker or a tight end out there. We said the same thing during the preseason. And he plays with 110% energy. He plays with his hair on fire. He's running the floor, getting rebounds, bringing the ball up, pushing the pace. I mean, he's really just a jack of all trades kind of guy. And he's on a 2-way contract right now.
Yeah.
He's about 26 years old. He may fool around and get it converted into a normal contract. So, but yeah, Eugene impressed me. Bilal in the second half played better under control. Yeah. It was against their second and third string guys, but he just looked more under control, especially on the fast break. He had a really nice dunk. He had a pump fake. Had a dunk against Porzingis. It wasn't on Porzingis, but he went past Porzingis and dunked the ball. 5 boards, 1 assist. I want to see how many steals he had. 1 steal. Still struggled to shoot from the floor, 1 for 6. We saw that in the Summer League, and coming out as a draft prospect, he's not known as a shooter anyway. So 1 for 6 from the 3. But I like the confidence. He did hesitate on 1 shot in the corner when the game wasn't competitive, but I'll just say the Celtics starters were still in. Jaylen Brown was in. Tatum was playing. Porzingis was playing. Derek White, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, guys like that. So he hesitated. Didn't like that. He did miss a layup, but he did finish a nice reverse layup. He had 2 nice reverse layups. One was a pass from Tyus Jones. So I like that. A guy that I want to see improve. I won't call him a dud, but Johnny Davis struggled at some points. 5 points, airballed a floater. But it is his first game back. Yeah. So he's wearing a shooting sleeve now. And, I'm not gonna joke about that too much, but him wearing a shooting sleeve and still, struggling to shoot a little bit. But he just has to get his feet wet out there and get his, his game, get back into game shape. So that was my assessment of the young guys out there.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Amarui, man, is a dog. I'm trying to tell you, man. I mean, he's built like a linebacker, and he's very active, man. He's trying to earn a contract. Look at that. He reminds me of, not in size or performance, but the situation as far as contract, Jordan Goodwin, a guy who really played hard and earned that contract. Amarui, man, we need to take a look at him. He might be a long-term piece. He's a dog, man. He came in. I mean, looking at the stat line, 12 minutes. And in 12 minutes, he got 14.6 boards. I mean, a block and a steal. I mean, that's just the energy he provides. He is a spark plug on the second unit, man. So, after the deadline, when we move off some of these veteran guys, at the 4 position, I want to see what he can do. I want to give him some extensive time in the second half of the year and see what he can really do, because I was very, very impressed. But, looking at this game, again, Gaff not playing would have made a difference. Maybe not. I mean, look, Boston's a juggernaut, man. I mean, Boston's ready. I mean, a lot of people talk about Milwaukee, their acquisition of Dame, Miami, chip on their shoulder, not getting Dame, up and comers, maybe the Knicks. But I'm telling you, Boston's that team, in my opinion, out of these. They're a defensive team. Everybody on that team can defend. I mean, they shot the lights out. And it's just, to me, it's like this, man. Yeah, not having Gaff it hurt. But you've got to show effort, man. Like, you cannot play like you already lost. Like they played like they knew they were massive underdogs, and there was no energy. Just the defense was abysmal, man. I mean, Boston went out there, and you know what? The Celtics might as well went out there with the warm-ups on, man. Just put your sweatpants back on, because that's what it was. It was a shoot around. It was just the best effort I saw tonight was from these young guys in the fourth quarter, because they played like they wanted to win the game. I think we got into within 15. Like, they got to the point where they had to call a couple timeouts in the fourth, because they had to talk to them. Like, look, man, we need to finish this thing, because not second unit, but these young guys, man, they really brought this game closer. So yeah, I get it. Not having Gaff really, really hurt to a certain degree, because with Gaff, it really made a big difference against KP. KP just pretty much did what he wanted. I mean, the small ball, I get, but why? I mean, if you don't have to, then why go small ball? Go sign a center. Like, come on, man. Enough is enough. Go get a center. Because if we're really that broken down in the paint by losing Gafford, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, how bad is it going to get? We lose Muscala, man. I mean, we're going to have Johnny Davis at the 5. I mean, it's just, they got to go out there and go get a center, man. Go get a center, please. A lot of people have been bringing up James Wiseman from Detroit. I don't know how you feel about Wiseman, E. Mm. He's young. I think that if he pans out, he could be a really, really good move. I think you got to explore that. Detroit, I know, is trying to move off of Wiseman and or Bagley. They're both young guys, change of scenery. I mean, I know at this point, Bagley, this will be the third change of scenery, going from Sacktown to Detroit to here. But you got to explore that. This is a rebuild. Let's go get some young assets. Because James, you need a center. James White. So I would, in my humble opinion, I think they need to kind of look at that move, man. But yeah, looking at the positives, under the circumstances, small ball center tonight, Kuzma looked decent. 9 for 15, 6 from 3, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Like you said, Bilal, he got better as the game went on. Obviously, the offensive game is going to come. But that dunk, hey, I ain't mad at the dunk, E. So it was, I think it was inspiring. I mean, you still saw, Jones got 7 assists. Tyus was decent, but it is a clear difference. It was a talent gap. I mean, they're trying to challenge for a championship. I mean, they're a scary team in the East, man. They really are a scary team in the East, man. So yeah, I kind of, to me, this was a foregone conclusion, and I just don't see where Gafford would have made that amount of difference. But I did see a lot of good things from the young players, man. And Marui, man, to me, even though they lost, game ball was him because of effort. He tried. He put a lot of effort. He was a dog in the fourth quarter, and I like what I see from him going forward, man. So yeah, there was a few positives to get out of this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the Wizards, they definitely didn't look like a NBA team tonight. I tweeted that out. They didn't look like an NBA team. They just didn't look like they belonged.
Yeah,
at all. It looked like a varsity versus a JV team tonight. But some positives were Eugene, and that's really it. Ryan Rollins played hard. I thought he played with some effort. He did have an up and down, but it's Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown really could have went for 50, but they sat him down. I don't even think he played in the fourth quarter. Jason Tatum didn't play in the fourth quarter. Porzingis didn't play in the fourth quarter. Jaylen Brown had 7 threes. But I mean, we'll go to a break and then we'll talk a little bit more. But I mean, it was rough, and it sounded like a Boston home game as well.
Yeah, this continues to be a recurring theme in the DMV, man, where the opposing fans outnumber the year, man. I'm just saying. So, like you said, we're gonna talk a little more about this game, and we're gonna take a look at the new NBA in-season tournament. We're going to look at the Wizards schedule real quick, and then we're going to do a preview for the Atlanta Hawks game on Wednesday because tomorrow night is Halloween. So we're going
Some
to
breaking news too.
Absolutely. So before we roll, tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. Again, that's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time than right now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Do it right now because the app is easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over and unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, the official partner of the National Football League. And the Locked On Ultimate NBA preseason is here. A preview, that is. A 6-episode series with all 30 of our Locked On NBA team shows. From contenders to tankers, we go in depth into the biggest storylines heading into the season. Catch all 6 episodes on Locked On NBA on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. So, kind of finishing up on this game. I mean, it's just, to me, I kind of knew it was going to happen. I mean, Boston's just a juggernaut, man. That team is scary, man. I mean, it's just defensively, they shut down Corey Kispert, 9 points. Pretty much the 3 3-pointers was about it, man. DeLon Wright, he looked kind of bad tonight, man. I mean, usually he's a little more polished on the defensive end. He kind of had an off night on the defensive end, but yeah, it's just really all I got to say, man, is El Marie was the positive. I mean, he was just, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, Jordan Poole, honestly, he's had it Shaq in a full moment 2 games in a row. I know the last game we won, so you kind of brush over it. He did the Gilbert Arenas, but of course he didn't make the 3 like Gilbert Arenas. He kind of did a Nick Young kind of thing where you shoot and you turn around and celebrate kind of, but it didn't go in. Then he does a lackadaisical chill behind the bag. Then he casually turns around, shoots a 3 on Porzingis, of course. And guess what? At 7 for 3, Porzingis blocks a shot. So not the best night from Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
He's not the reason why we lost. He was 5 for 11 points. Of course, him coming in, we expected everybody's, hyping him up to have a James Harden kind of season. He's kind of been up and down. It's only been 3 games, so I don't want to, talk about it too much, but we got a long way to go. So he played really well the last game against the Grizzlies. So, but we know we're gonna have up and down. He's gonna have up and down games. He's gonna have a good game. He's gonna have a bad game. Preseason, he had 41. Next thing you know, he goes 1 for 15 against the Raptors. So, but Kuzma, yeah, he was the best player on the court really tonight. I thought Denny was aggressive. I like the aggressiveness that he had. 11.7 boards. He had an and one. Kept attacking. I really wish he would have did that from the start.
Yeah.
They just played scared. We're just going to keep it 100. They played scared. And if they would have played the way they did in the third quarter, or really just the third quarter, if Denny would have kept attacking, going downhill, I know it's easier said than done, but they just played like they knew the Celtics were the better team. And that's something I didn't like.
Yeah.
Last year we were underdogs when Porzingis was here. And guess what? Denny had 25 points. And Denny played with a lot of confidence. So if they would have played with confidence like that, then it would have been a closer game. But it looked like they just laid down. And Jaylen Brown, they let Jaylen Brown do whatever he felt like doing. Jaylen Brown ended 7 threes. Jaylen Brown had 8 threes. Woo. 8 for 13 from the 3. Jason Tatum 4 for 9. 33 points for Jason Tatum, 36 for Jaylen Brown. Ridiculous. Porzingis had 15, but it was the easiest 15 I've ever seen in my life. Tyus was fine. 11 points, 5 for 9. He's been steady. He's been fine so far. Bilal, we already talked about him. And Gallo's just too slow. But and then Corey hit 3 threes. He did what he usually does. But yeah, just from a team standpoint, like you said, DeLon had a rough night too. Only 1 point tonight. Didn't really impact the game much at all. But yeah, I mean, they just play like they knew they were the lesser team, and they just can't play like that. I don't want to blame West too much. It's not his fault entirely, but you got to get your guys ready for this game. You got to get your guys mentally prepared for the game, even with Gafford out. But just the roster, they're just not good enough. And I do have to talk about Will Dawkins too, and Travis Schlenk and Michael Winger. I know that they're trying to develop guys and get a better draft pick, but at the same time, you got to put a competitive product out there, because Ted Leonsis was sitting in the front row, and I saw that. Of course, he does for a majority of the games, but you're expecting people to sit in these suites, these Hennessy suites or whatever they're called, these sections, and you can't even sign a backup center somebody to compete,
Yeah.
somebody to at least scare them from coming into the paint. Like Gafford may not scare anybody to come into the paint either. Like, don't get it twisted. We talk about Gafford all the time too, but at the same time, you got to have another big in there, 6'10", somebody 6'11", that can at least throw a chicken wing or something to somebody, just foul somebody. Just come in there and give a hard foul. I'm not saying to have a flagrant foul, but just come in and let the guys know that they're there. Let Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown know that they're there and that we're coming. And they had no sense of that at all. And I don't blame them. It was just an Olay layup line, 3-point shoot contest. That's just what it was out there.
No, you hit the nail on the head with all points, man. Yeah, Wes, not entirely on him, but come on, man. Like, get on your guys, man. Like, it's one thing I get his rebuilding, but you don't quit. You're professional basketball players. Like, you don't quit. You try. I mean, this lay down in the first half is just look, man, it's just like you're the coach. You got to be the example, man. If you're passive and your guys are like whatever, it's like, look, here's the thing, man. A lot of people in this fan base are very supportive of this rebuild. But if you're gonna show no heart at all, why show up? Like, come on, man. We're trying to support you, but you can only go so far, man. Like, really? I mean, it's the third daggone game of the season, and you're quitting. You get paid millions of dollars, man. Go out there and play. I mean, come on, man. You got people paying all this money for courtside seats. I mean, any seat is expensive. It's NBA. So you're just not just spending money for people just to quit? Come on, man. Get out of here. It's frustrating because it's just, yeah. So looking at, you mentioned Johnny Davis. Look, to me, first game back, got you. Look, he's got to the deadline. Then he needs to be flipped for whatever value you can. Because look, what is it? I mean, how long are we going to wait for Johnny Davis to figure it out? I mean, you airball daggone layup, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, I get it. Come on, man. But really, we airball. Like, he's got to the deadline. Show what you can do, and they need to move him. If you can do something, then and they see him as part of the future, then cool. But come on, man. Like, I'm done with all this waiting on Johnny Davis, man. You are a professional basketball player. Go out there and perform. All right. It's like, man, I'm a cashier. If I keep messing up every day, I'm going to lose my job. Like, you got to do your daggone job. So yeah, it's frustrating because I totally get rebuilds. I sat through the years of rebuilding after drafting John Wall. I sat through that. We both sat through the Arenas era, the constant rebuilds. Look, I know how to rebuild. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ready. But you have to show heart, man. You have to show heart. So it's that was very disappointing that you got more heart from Eugene Emery than anybody else on the court. It's very disparaging, man. They got to get on that. Look, show heart, man. Show some heart. Because again, we got outnumbered by the Celtics fans. It is hard to watch, man. I hate to switch sports real quick. I got very frustrated at the Commanders game, man. Because I'm one of those guys in the section saying, get up, say something. It's third down on defense. Get up. People sitting there. And there's no wonder why the Eagles fans outnumbered us, man. You know what I mean? Like, and then we both went at, you remember that game we went to where it was against the Rockets? You saw what I did. I got up and said, look, Brick, at the free throw line, you got to say something. Like, you got to support your team, man. This whole I'm passive, nah. You should never get outnumbered at home, man. That's part of the problem. So, I'm with you, man. They need to show a lot more heart. So, kind of moving on, the new court designs and the schedules for the new NBA in-season tournament was released by the NBA. And looking at the Washington Wizards or the first four, and if they, I guess certain factors we went over in previous videos, they move on. But looking at the schedule for the 4 games, Friday, November 3rd, 8 o'clock at Miami. Friday, November 10th, 7 o'clock at home against the Hornets, which I will be at that game. I had to get tickets from my wife. She is from Charlotte. I had to give away the Cowboys tickets, man. So, and she wanted to go, so I had to make up for it, man. So I'll actually be there. Yeah, man. Third game Friday at home, 7 o'clock, November 17th against the New York Knickerbockers, and the final game November 24th, my birthday, by the way, Friday, and it's an 8 o'clock game at Milwaukee. So, are you motivated or intrigued by this new in-season tournament? Do you see? I guess what I'm trying to ask is, do you think there's more positives than negatives when it comes to this new in-season tournament?
It's different. I still have to look at the rules. I know that they win money if they win the tournament. It may make it more competitive or an incentive for teams to win games. But it certainly is for more revenue. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It's different colors, different jerseys. The playoffs will be in Vegas, so it's definitely for more revenue, and it may bring. I know other sports are doing it. Trying to think of some other sports that did it. I want to say that like soccer leagues or
Yeah.
something like that, they do in-season tournaments. I know the WNBA, they were doing something like the Commissioner's Cup or something like that too. So I know there's dog days in the middle of the season where, guys can get sidetracked or kind of lose steam in the middle of December or January, where you're right in that middle, that dead spot of the season where, it's not the end of the season, you're trying to make that playoff push, or the beginning of the season. So I get it. And guys are resting back to backs and whatnot. So, and guys are already starting to rest games right now. Like Jimmy Butler rested and sat out a game, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's different. And it's kind of like the NCAA. I didn't like when they moved because it was 64 in the NCAA tournament. Then they moved it to 68. The NFL with the playoffs, it was 6 teams, and then they added another wild card team. So
yeah,
NFL, they know what they're doing. The NBA, it's all about money. It's all about I'll just say revenue. It's all about revenue, adding more revenue. The NFL has added more revenue with another playoff game or another playoff team. The NCAA has added more teams, and the NBA, they did it with the play-in. So they're just going to add more stuff, which Adam Silver thinks it will gain more fans and more eyes on the TV. The play-in did really well one time with revenue when it was the Lakers versus the Warriors with Steph and LeBron in the play-in game. That one did really, really well. So we'll see how this works out. I'm intrigued by it. I'm kind of old school where I'm just like, don't really get it. But, of course, we're both going to be here sitting down and watching it. So, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And I'll be at the Hornets game, and so I got to watch her cheering for the wretched Hornets. So, but it is what it is. You got to do, what you got to do to keep the wife happy. So, we're going to do a preview tonight real quick before we start chopping it up with you guys of the Atlanta Hawks game on Wednesday night. But before we do, Ed's going to talk to us about Game Time.
Hey, sir, today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. You should not have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event like a Wizards game. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Last-minute tickets, flash deals, and zone deals as well. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All prices show your total upfront, so you know you're getting a great deal without hidden fees. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event, and even an hour after it starts, it's the place to find last-minute deals. So you can probably use Game Time to get some of those luxury seats, the sections at Capital One Arena as well. There's a lot of concerts there too. So definitely use the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA, LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Yes, sir. So before we move on to comments and chopping up with you guys real quick tonight, looking at the Atlanta Hawks game Wednesday night, we are against the Atlanta Hawks. And looking at their roster, man, they got the starting 5 and a solidified bench, man. So if you got to look at 1 or 2 keys to a potential Wizards victory, what would they be?
Good question. Looking at the Hawks right now, they beat the Timberwolves, who are a good team, 127-113. And DeJounte Murray had 41 points. Trae Young had 24. Clint Capella only had 2 points and 5 boards. And Yeke Okongwu had 10 points and 7 boards. Sadiq Bey 11 points and 6 rebounds. He had 3 threes. So they shot 14 for the Hawks shot 14 for 30 from the 3-point line. Let's see what the Celtics shot as well. So basically, what I'm getting at is defending the 3-point line. We got to get out to shooters. Can't let guys get hot. We let Jaylen Brown get hot tonight. We let Jason Tatum get hot tonight. I don't know if Gaffer's going to play or not. We'll see. Yeah. They have bigs that play well. Like Capella plays. He plays hard. He's going to get a lot of boards. Okongwu's going to play hard. He's going to get a lot of boards. So they don't have a lot of bigs that are really going to hurt you. As far as the Embiids or Jokic's of the world, Anthony Davis, guys like that. But they got to protect the paint, man. they got to protect the paint. They got to show some grit and just toughness, man.
Yeah.
Toughness, physicality. Trae Young is going to get a lot of threes up, so definitely communicating, defending the three-point line, getting back on defense for sure, and just offensively, just ball movement. And it's a mental game. It looked like they played scared today. They have to come in and play with confidence and attack Trae Young. He's not known as a defender at all. I think there's some guys that they definitely can attack on the defensive end against the Hawks for sure. So I do think it's going to be a better matchup. I think it's going to be a closer game, but I'm gonna just keep it simple. Defend the 3-point line. Know your personnel. Know your shooters like Sadiq Bey. He's a guy that can shoot the lights out too.
Oh yeah.
And get back on defense and rebounding for sure. And just ball movement, playing inside out. Kuzma's got to attack, and Jordan Poole, man, he's got to lock in this game too. Yeah, he's got to lock in this game too. We need him to step up for sure, and we need him to get to the basket as well instead of settling for pull up threes. We're gonna need him to get to the basket and get to the free throw line. Play like he did against the Knicks, where he was getting to the free throw.
Yeah, I agree on all points, Z. I totally agree. I'll say this, man: play with heart, play with pride. Play for what's on the front of your jersey, not on the back. Play some pride, man. We get it. It's a rebuild, but you got to show effort. It was very disappointing seeing that. It really is, because I expected more from this organization, man, as far as player wise, man. You got to play. You got to show some effort, show some pride, especially on the home court. I get it's the Boston Celtics, but so against Atlanta, man, which is not going to be an easy matchup. Division foe. It's going to be a hard matchup because, that backcourt of Young and Murray, you got Hunter, Jalen Johnson. You got a lot of shooters too. You got guys who can definitely shoot the rock. So, I want to see effort, defensive, offensive end. I just want to see effort and pride, man. So we're going to go ahead and get into the comments, man. And E, if you see one, let's go ahead and pick it out. Mm-hmm. And I guess we'll start with Dad Bezel. And he says, bro, someone needs to try harder in the front office. The Lakers got Christian Wood for a lower price than what we paid Gafford. I think we both mentioned looking at the acquisition of Christian Wood. I don't think that was realistic. I think he kind of wanted to go to a team that had a chance to compete. The Lakers, as you know, aren't always in a position to compete, and if not, the rest of the league is going to try to get them the pieces for them to compete. So, you know what it is, man. Definitely he was chasing a contender. But I agree, man. They definitely need to make a move to get another big. I don't understand. Oh, bless you. I don't get why you're trying to go small ball. Like, go get a center. Like, there's plenty of guys out there that you could, you don't have to get anybody special. Just somebody who could be a body in there, man. But I don't get it. I just don't get it. When you're dealing with a lot of injuries and you don't want to make another move, then you go small ball. But to go small balls and be like, oh, we're just gonna roll with it. I get it. And like, it goes back to what you said, E. It's like, just because you're rebuilding doesn't mean you have to be looking so desperately like you're tanking, man. Like, we get it. You're trying to get a top 5 pick, but you don't have to be so obvious about it. Like, to not sign a center is like abysmal to me. So, like I said, I'm a big fan of this front office. I wanted a new front office a while. Shepard was just had to go. So I'm excited. I'm impressed by the moves they made, but this is one move that has really, really, really gotten to me a little bit, because this center position, we need another center. I don't, because I don't see any team in the league where we're going to be able to compete with them with a small lineup. So, that's just my bit on it, man.
Yeah, they definitely. There's so many options. They could have even got Bowl, Harry Giles, Nemus Keita. Yeah, there's so many bigs. Christian Wood, Bismack Biyombo. Just any backup center would have been fine than what we got, and they just refused to address the center position. Like we've said multiple times now, we get it. This season, they're trying to develop and get the best draft capital or the best draft position that they can get. But they could have got a backup center, and we knew Gafford. Even if he is healthy, he still easily gets in foul trouble. So even if he is healthy, he struggles against other bigs that are just are stronger than him. So they just decided to not address the big man position at all, and that's on the front office. It just is.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Michael Barnes said, continue to trust the process, Wiz fans. It's going to be a long season. Totally agree. I mean, look, I think a lot of people, and if you're not, you should strap in and get ready for it, that are ready to go through a rebuild. It's going to be 3-4 seasons, man, of development. But here's the thing. Is it too much to ask for effort? I mean, you want me to drop a couple $100 on the ticket? You got to show some effort, man. Like, to me, I just as a consumer, man, showing up and guys just like, it is what it is, man. It's like, no, I just drove 2 hours to get here, man. Like, come on, I want some effort, and that would, to me, I get a rebuild, I really do, but you got to show some pride, man. Shook Biz said, Ed, aren't you 6'10"? Go suit up and be our center, man. What's up, E? What's up?
I'm not 6'10". I wish. I'm 6'5", 6'6" on a good day. But if they want to sign me to a 10-day, certainly I'll step out there.
They can sign me to be the water boy, man. I'm just saying.
Right.
I'll be motivated.
Sign me to a 10-day for sure.
Yeah, man. I'll be Bobby Boucher out there.
Right. Joseph Haskins says Johnny Davis is the worst draft pick we ever had. I mean, there's a lot of draft picks that you could definitely debate with. We can go all day at that one. So, 0 offense, multiple turnovers, multiple air balls, allowed 9 points when he's supposed to be a lockdown defender. Bust. I wouldn't go as far as a bust. It's too early. This is only his second season. So, and this was his first game of the season as well. He's got to get his wind under him. He looked okay in the preseason, and he looked better in this summer league in preseason. So it's hard to really compare that to actual real games. But I would just give him more of a chance. I would give him more of a chance. He may not ever pan out, and he's a Tommy Shepard draft pick, so they don't really, they're not gonna. They may not give him as many chances as they would if they had, as far as them drafting guys. So he has a short of a leash. Of course, compared to Bilal, they actually drafted Bilal, so they're going to give him a lot of chances to succeed against way more chances to succeed than what they're going to give Johnny Davis. So this is certainly an evaluation year. So the thing that I said was breaking news was actually that Josh Robbins, he tweeted out that they picked up the option for Johnny Davis and Corey Kispert, which means that they most likely will be on the roster next year. So that was interesting to me that they picked up Johnny Davis's, and they picked up Corey Kispert's already, just all of them already so quickly. So that's intriguing. But yeah, I want to give Johnny a shot, man. I liked him coming out of college. I really did. I thought he was going to be a solid player, not a great player, but a solid player. So I do want to see more from him for sure.
I do as well. But I'll say this: he got to the deadline. Let's go through the 2022 draft. He was drafted at number 10. Who was drafted after him? Jalen Williams. He's starting caliber player.
Don't say Jalen Duren.
Oh, well, I mean, he's had his moments, but he ain't looking too good tonight. But Cavaliers, I mean, Ochai Agbaji, man, is going to be Mark Williams at 15. AJ Griffin at 16. Terry Eason. I mean, the list goes on. The Grizzlies, who ended up flipping them to the Jazz, but Walker Kessler at 22. These guys are starting caliber, if not starting. I mean, at that draft position, he is. I mean, he's got to the deadline. I mean, I get you're trying to develop, but I mean, you see that potential when it comes to Bilal. Johnny just, I don't know what to say, man. Like, me personally, I don't know how long we're gonna wait. Now, I think it was a little too early to pick up the option, man. See when he's got to the deadline. I mean, they're being a little premature with certain moves, man. Like, I believe that West Unseld, they should have gave him the year and then evaluate him at the end of the season. To go ahead and I get a peace of mind not having him, worry about his job. I get that aspect of it, but Johnny Davis, come on, man. Nah, he got to the deadline, man. I mean, I've seen enough. I mean, I want him to succeed. I'm not hating on him. I think that he's a great guy. I'll let him date my sister, whatever. But I mean, here's the thing, man. Like he's got to perform, man. Like, I mean, you airball and layup, nah. Because the guys I mentioned are starting caliber or starting right now. You draft the guy at 10, you're drafting the guy with the expectation that within 1 to 2 years he's going to be a starter. He's got to the deadline, and then you'll see what deal you can throw him into. But you're still trying to find who you are as a player in year 2. And I get the injuries, man, but you got to show up to play, man. You really do. So that's my soapbox moment.
Yeah, the only thing is that, you're just not going to get much back for him. You have to attach him with somebody in a deal for sure. So his value is just not high at all. And honestly, I do want to see him get. I do want to see more from him. I want to see him get more of a chance. Last year, he just wasn't ready. He looked like a deer in the headlights. It was like a red shirt freshman year. He played in the G League. He even struggled in the G League at times. He got better, played better at the end of the season. Still didn't shoot the ball well, but he played better, played with a lot of confidence. So I did like that. Do want to see him get more opportunities. Of course, when Shamet comes back from the toe injury, playing time is going to look even tougher for him. So I just want to give him more of a chance and see what he can do. But the ceiling right now is not very high for Johnny. So I just want to see more.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. We got one last. There you go. DMV for life. Worst team in the NBA by far. Joking, hard to watch. Had hopes for Davis and DeLon, but they've been off. I mean, they're going to be. I think there's times where they will be fun to watch. I think that Kuzma and Poole are too good to not be fun to watch at times. But it's gonna be a long year. It's about evaluation, but it's just showing effort, man. Bulls Nation, we didn't even try. This was embarrassing. Did you guys see the national media is also making fun of us because of the shot block pull on? I mean, we definitely gave them a reason. So I mean, I got one more comment right there. The Dazzling Globetrotter said, "What happened to Yannick Zosa? Look. Maybe you can tell us. Put an ABB on him, man, because I mean, I don't know if he knows where he's at right now, man. Like he's in Spain somewhere. I don't know. But we definitely got to get more value out of second round picks. Real Wings of One said, I won't kill Johnny since his first game back from injury. Yeah, true enough. But he needs to shape up real quick. Absolutely. Because you guys see some results. Yeah. Perfect Finance said Poole must go with Wes Unseld Jr. No effort of either of them. Kuz suddenly passes. When he gets stuck, no one made movement because they didn't think Kuz would pass. I mean, yeah, we know what the MO is about Kuz and Jordan Poole, man. But that defense, I think it had a lot more to the defense of the Boston, man. They limited them, man. There's not much they could do, but they've got to, Kuz and Jordan Poole, they've got to learn how to use the talent around them, man. Mm-hmm. Oh, there we go. Oh,
yeah, Poole didn't look good tonight. It was a rough night for him. Yeah. It was. I just don't like the silly moments where he's doing stuff like that, just turn around, throwing up anything, and just, and one mixtape tour, dribble, not going anywhere. So there's some moments where it's like, oh my goodness, he's just playing really well. The Grizzlies game, I liked what he did. And even in that game, he had some moments where they were shacking a full moment. So it's just what you're going to get from him. He does have some maturing that he still needs to do on the court. I thought he did a lot of good things with leadership off the court this year, but we still see that he still definitely has some things to work on for sure. I'll just rapid fire read some. They are a little funny. Desan says the media is posting the Johnny Davis airball layup. We're getting cooked by everyone. Laugh my butt off. Yosef said we're used to Johnny missing shots, but airball and layup is a whole other topic that made me cringe. King Boulevard said Gaff wouldn't change a thing. He's a bum. I disagree with that.
Yeah.
I think we still would have lost, but it would have been a little bit closer. Dennis Chandler says they smacked the red, white, and blue right off of us. And
I don't even know what to say, man. I mean, it's just a clear talent gap, man. Boston's is scary, man. They're gonna be nice in the East, man. So yeah. Look, I'm just saying, shout out, man. James Wiseman, I think, is a move that they need to explore. We need a guy who he's got some potential at the center position, man. He can't hurt. Put Gafford at the backup. I mean, here's the thing with Gaff, man. I like Gaff. Again, I like Gaff. Great guy. He can marry my cousin, man. But what I'm saying is he's got to show up, man. With the extension, he's got a lot to play for too, going to the deadline, man. In my opinion. I think everybody's got playing for a job in this organization, in my opinion. You got to evaluate everybody. Because I like Poole, man. But here's the thing, man. Steph Curry can do that move because Steph Curry hits threes. Like you can't shoot a three, miss, and then turn back, man. It's like wearing an Armani suit with some Jordans on, man. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, you gotta play the moment. Like he's got, he's definitely got some maturing to do. But I think he'll get that, man. I think they'll coach him up because he's got too much talent, man. I think that when he gets that maturity and he really gets, finds his way in his organization, I think Jordan Poole's gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's getting pretty bad. Marcus Hancock says we need Scott Brooks. He also said bring back Ish Smith. Somebody also said trade Johnny Davis and a second-round pick for Ish Smith as well.
I mean, at this point, man, trade him for a half smoke. I mean, I like Johnny, man. I really want Johnny to succeed, man. I really, really do. It's just, that's where I'm at. He's got to show and prove to the deadline, man.
Right. Regal Tone T said Elena Della Dawn available. Yeah, and then we'll wrap up on this. Kuzma he said in his comments because somebody else commented and said, "Yeah, we definitely could have used Tristan Vucevic tonight too. He probably would have got cooked as well, but at least he would have provided some type of resistance. Something, some type of rebounding or something. We needed just something tonight." Kuzma said, "I think this is a good learning lesson for us. I think we may lose a ton of games this year, but it can't be like that for us. We need to find our competitive spirit within all of us." So, it's a gut check game against the Hawks because they'll do the same thing. Trae Young will do the same thing. DeJounte Murray will do the same thing that Jaylen Brown and Tatum did. They will. I think it's in Atlanta. We have a road trip coming up, so they'll do this. They could easily drop 30 and 40 on us as well.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's going to be something, man. But if you put a lot of effort and heart, and they'll figure it out, man.
It's a comedy show tonight, man.
I know, right?
It's Def Jam comedy.
Man, I'm telling you, man. Half my family got married off, man. What I'm saying. But nah, man, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there, man. I definitely appreciate everybody, man. Definitely appreciate everybody dropping out with us, even though we lost. But look, we know what it is. It's going to be a long year, man. But we definitely going to be here for y'all to chop it up and see how these young guys grow. So, man, look, wherever you get your podcast, definitely a 5-star review is much appreciated if we earned it. Look, on YouTube side of things, definitely like, subscribe, hit the comment, comment below. Let us know what you guys think, man. Should James Wiseman be a thought at a potential acquisition for the Washington Wizards? So definitely appreciate you guys for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. Every day is not tomorrow, but after the game on Wednesday, we are going to do a live video to recap. So definitely tune in and show up, man. So we're going to chop it up with you guys on Wednesday night. So again, appreciate everybody. Everybody have a blessed night and peace. Take care, everybody.